Okay, so we're going to do the quadratic inequalities. So these are here. It says solve for x, and we'll start with x squared greater than 9. So this is a quadratic inequality. Okay, it's different than the linear equalities. So in order to do the quadratic equalities, the first thing you should do is just solve it as if you have x squared is equal to 9. So at this point you should square root both sides, and you should get x is equal to plus or minus 3. So remember, with square roots, if you have minus 3 squared, you get 9. And if you have just positive 3 squared, you get 9. So there's two answers for this. And this is quite helpful, because what it does is allow us to draw our number line in the right spot. So I create my number line. Okay. And I draw my numbers on it. So your solutions that you get, minus 3 and 3, are going to be where your number lines are drawing. So once again, we have two choices. We have either a line that's going to be in between here, or we could have a line that's going to be drawn out this way and out this way with a space in it. So to figure this out, we can take our original equation, and I have x squared, which is greater than 9. And then you can choose a point anywhere on your number line. If it's true, it's going to be, if it's true within the space negative 3 to 3, then we're going to draw any number within here. If it's not true, then we have this case where we have arrows pointing out with a space in between. So example, if I use, say, 0, is 0 squared greater than 9? It's not, okay? And if you choose any point in between negative 3 and 3, you will always find that this is false. So there's no line in between this space. If you want to test to see if that's true, for example, say 4, to know that your line is going to be drawing outwards, we can test that with our equation as well. So 4 squared, is that greater than 9? Well, it is, because 16 is greater than 9. So for sure, we're going to have our line going from 3 out here this way forever. Okay? And since we have just the less than, we don't fill in our bubble. And we already know that it should not be in between negative 3 and 3, but let's just take another point here at minus 4. So if we put minus 4 squared, remember to use your brackets, because if you put just negative 4 without the brackets on your calculator, you'll get a wrong answer. So negative 4 squared, which is 16, greater than 9. So in this case, yes, 16 is greater than 9. That's true. So that means we must have a line out towards this way as well. And once again, it's greater than, not equal to, so we draw our hollow point. Okay, so that is going to be our first one. So this is this case here. All right. Let's try one of the harder ones, such as h. Okay, so we draw this. 3x squared is less than or equal to 12. First thing you should do is solve it as if it's an equation. So let's see, 3x squared is equal to 12. First thing you should do is divide out your 3. So they cancel, and now you have x squared is equal to 4. Square root both sides. And you have x is equal to, once again, plus or minus 2. So now we know our limits on our number line. So I come here. Let's use a different color. Here's my number line. Draw my arrows, and draw my limit. So I'll put a 0 here, minus 2 here, and a 2 here. So now we go and we start testing our points. So we bring our equation 3 times, well, choose a point. You can either choose a point in the middle or on the outside. I mean, 0 is the easiest point to choose, and if it's false, then we know that they're going to be pointing on the outside, just like this one above here. Alright, so take your inequality, insert 0 into there as your guessing point, and see what happens. So 3 times 0 squared, well, that's going to be 0. Is 0 less than or equal to 12? Well, it is in this case. So when we have this case this way, we should have a line that is trapped in between our 2 points here. Okay? And if you think, okay, well, what happens out here? Well, let's see. Imagine I take something like -4 and we test that point out. So if I come over here, 3 times -4 squared is less than or equal to 12. 3 times 16, which is less than or equal to 12. Is this number less than or equal to 12? Well, we can already see 48 is not less than or equal to 12. So this area here is a no-go. So this proved already that we're in the middle, and this proves that for sure we're not on the outside. So all we need to do as our last and final step is draw our dots. Now notice that there's an equal sign here. It's less than or equal to. So I hollow this bit in, I hollow this bit in, and we're done for this question.